Welcome to the intersection of Black culture and horticulture with your girl, Colah be talking. And guess what, y'all? We Black in the garden. From WABE Studios, welcome to Black in the Garden, the intersection between Black culture and horticulture. I am your host, Colah be talking. And Soil Cousins, OMG, we have made it to the end of our first season, specifically in collaboration with WABE, and what a season it has been. Soil Cousins, we made it. We are closing out the season with this recap episode, and we're really excited to have the time to reflect on our time spent in collaboration with WABE. I have my ever-present and amazing co-host, Plant Zaddy.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much to the Soil Cousins and Plant Fam for inviting me to this space, okay? Because I came here to do some plants. And our good, beautiful producer said, hey, you want to? And I said, absolutely. And I never left. So this seat has been warmed up by Plant Zaddy, and I ain't going nowhere.
You got straight to it. I mean, I love that. Really, he legit came for the set design, and he stayed for the podcast. So we are very grateful to have you with us. Thank you so much. I want to thank you, first, since you're the closest one to me. It has been an amazing season. After 4 years of independently producing the Black in the Garden podcast, this new chapter came with a very amazing experience of a full production crew, a set designer who is our now beloved co-host, and a whole new level of storytelling. And through it all, one thing has remained the same: our commitment to celebrating the beautiful intersection of Black culture and horticulture. From digging into the deep history of collard greens and learning more about the language of flowers, to learning how our principal farmer, Patrick Muhammad, has been shaping young minds through agriculture, we've explored stories that remind us just how essential our connection to the land truly is. So I know our niche may be unique, maybe small, perhaps even unexplored in its entirety. That means we have so much more work to do. We have so much more way to go. And this season has proven that these conversations belong in the media landscape because they aren't just about plants. They're about legacy, culture, identity, and community. And to top it all off, I had the incredible honor of recording with the WABE broadcasting legends, not one, but two, Rose Scott and Lois Reitzes, who is actually getting ready to retire shortly after you hear this episode. And they have paved the way for meaningful and thought-provoking storytelling. So I want to give a big shout out to them. And let's just take a moment to reflect on some of the most unforgettable moments from this season. The guests who have dropped some gems and some lessons that have stuck with us as we move forward. So don't go anywhere, because I asked some people from our production crew about their thoughts and some of their favorites, and we're going to get into some of them. So let's continue and unpack for this special recap episode of Black in the Garden. You ready?
Ooh, I am. Let's go.
Yes. What stood out the most for you from this entire season? Was there a lesson? Was there a guest? Was there a theme?
I don't know why this just popped in my head, and I think this clip might be in the episode, but finding out that your favorite plant is a snake plant. Interesting.
Now, let me clarify. It wasn't that my favorite plant was the snake plant. My favorite plant is kind of hard to pin down. I generally list the coleus plant. But I had a very specific reason why I preferred a big old snake plant. Yeah. And that was from our single plant parents episode.
And that's a good segue.
Yes, perfect. Because what I was just going to say.
For real. Because that was a good episode.
As I was thinking on it, I was like, what was my favorite episode? Hard for me to choose, as you can imagine. Fun fact for those of you who did not know, I really appreciate WABE in this collaboration for making sure that I retained full intellectual property rights and the ability, most specifically, to come up with the episode concepts and take the time to, really write up some fun ways for us to discuss them and really curate these conversations. So I've come up with that episode of Single Plant Parents, and it was just such a great time. I being not just single, but divorced, and just having a different take on how I'm approaching the world, but also how I am approaching my plant care life and situation. And so it was such a good time when I was like, what does this look like when I compare the life of living with plants and selecting plants and doing our best to maintain them.
How you care for them.
Yes.
What you can learn.
Yes.
Because we learned a lot through you that day. Or from you that day. From the
you
questions
as well.
that I know, right? Because I'm single too out here. So,
period.
There's a couple of things.
Being single, you naturally learn lessons along the way, especially if you're making some mistakes. But we don't make mistakes, do we?
We grow through them.
Okay, fair. I was just trying to big myself up a little bit. But okay, so we talked about single plant parents. We've talked to so many guests. Was there a guest that stood out to you?
I will say, because I am a plant business owner and I would say a mobile plant shop, that our plantrepreneurs is
Correct.
Our word.
I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah.
Plantrepreneur.
I love when we bring those individuals on, male, female, to learn how they got to where they are, their story, what they're doing, how they're growing, how we're collaborating together. And that's one thing that I want to do more of in the community, is collaborate with, more plantrepreneurs, because we, like I just said, we got to grow together. And like Dr. Key in Atlanta states all the time, no one is self-made. So, we all got to grow together out here in order to really evolve into the greatness that we can reach.
Absolutely. So on that note, I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to all of the guests that we've had. Seed Atlanta, Campbell, fellow plantrepreneur, thank you for your insights. We had a wonderful time in conversation with you. Amiko, the farmer, I remember he was dropping some gems and looking very fresh, by the way. Michaela Williams from Black to Earth, incredible conversation. We talk about Michaela all the time, especially when we talk about volunteerism and working with Black farmers. We talked with Patrick Muhammad of Your Faith Farms. We appreciate so much wisdom, so much insight. We had to give y'all 2 episodes. Dana Michelle Mall was an incredible contributor, giving us more insights about environmental justice and storytelling through documentaries and filmmaking. Also a good friend of mine. Derek, the chocolate botanist. If you know, you know. Okay. Our resident botanist. That's all you need to know. Go back to a few of those episodes and catch up. Lilo Jones, he walked 100 miles. To change the world. That's an episode worth listening to. So make sure you refer back to that. Keonce, we discussed Black plant magic. It was a magical time, to say the least. And we thank you so much for your contributions. I want to give a special shout out to another plantrepreneur, Crystal from Tropical Express,
who was one of the first reasons why. Well, she gave me an opportunity when I first moved to Atlanta to kind of, get my feet wet. So thank you to Crystal.
Right. To wet your palms.
Wet my palms, my feet, my soul, all of that.
I'm just referring back to a recent episode that we actually recorded recently, the palm episode, but we're thanking our guest right now, L. Sharpton. He really dropped some gems and taught us a lot about the cultivation of beer, the crops, and the relevant agricultural aspects of why agriculture is connected to beer. And he gave us some history on the Black history of beer. Special shout out to Adonica Toller and Eugene Trey Ford that came all the way up from Jacksonville, Florida to help us learn more about the legacy of Eartha M. White. Do you remember that?
I do.
That was, y'all really need to know about Eartha M. White. So make sure you tap into that episode. We also want to give a special shout out to another guest who came a little bit of a ways to join us, Mike Gibson. He came all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. So shout out to Mike, the topiary wizard that he is. I can't call him the Titan of topiary because that had already been reserved for who? Pearl Fire.
Pearl Fire, yeah.
See, now if this was the quiz, you would have done failed.
No, you would have had to give me a second. Okay, Pearl. We can't forget Pearl and his headlights at 2:00 in the morning.
You know
yes,
it. You was paying attention. You took a few notes.
The real Edward Scissorhands.
Period.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Mike Gibson for coming through. And another fun fact, I don't know if we talked about it too much, but Mike Gibson was a whole TV star, a topiary TV star. We should unpack that a little bit more, but he just had so many gems and so much wisdom that he shared with us. So we really appreciate it. Kalundra Smith got to join me for a very special episode that it was quite niche. We actually we did kind of a deep dive on a very specific character from a very specific show that is quite relevant to WABE being in Atlanta. The show FX's Atlanta, and she was able to give us her insights from the editorial aspect. So we thank you so much to so many of those guests. I know you were here right off frame and you were just cheering us on along the way. So those stories and the passion that they shared and their insights truly made this an unforgettable season. Any lessons that you took away? Anything that particularly stood out? I know when we talked with Patrick Muhammad, it was a holy amen choir.
It was. He came in here to preach. But I think Lilo Jones, I loved his analogy. And it really wasn't an analogy because it was a real life story. When he was walking that 100 miles, he saw a river that was full of dirt, couldn't even see through it. But I think he said, just like in life, a mile up, the river naturally filtrated itself. And I think he said about, was it 12 miles or however many miles it was up? It looked completely different.
12, yeah.
Yeah, it looked completely different from miles back. So, you got to just keep going in life and you'll drop off things that aren't supposed to be there and be clear and, scot-free from whatever it might be that's holding you down.
You ain't lying. That was a big learning aha moment, if you will.
Yeah.
You would think that me just hosting the show, maybe I'm just, just taking things kind of casually along the way, but I am learning so much more. I get smarter with every season, and this season being no different. I'm trying to think of a particularly poignant moment from one of the guests. I'm just such a big fan of Michaela Williams for her work with Black to Earth. And I'm biased because I've spent so much time working with her and having the privilege to be able to volunteer on some of the Black farms that she talked about in that episode. And it's such a cool way that she set up this whole structure and this whole system where she's able to mobilize people that may not even know anything about planting, farming, anything like that, but just want to make a difference or maybe just get out of the house. But they walk away from it at the end feeling more connected to community and having been able to help a Black farmer and in turn helping the entire community because the farmers are helping the community to eat. So I heard that you wanted to challenge me to a special game of Don't Moss with me.
Child, I always will challenge you to a special game of Don't
Moss with me. What you got for me? I heard that you were digging into some previous episodes.
I was.
And you had a little bit of a challenge, and I'm willing to accept it.
Now she's lying, you all.
I mean, it's part of the game is bluffing. Don't moss with me. So for those of you who have been keeping up, because that was also another highlight from this season, has been the introduction of our very special game where we challenge each other to name as many of something as we can. Maybe it's a plant, maybe it's, Black history figures or something like that. Very fun game. The rules are pretty simple. We're going back and forth and we are naming a theme. And so for each thing in that theme that we can name, for example, trees, don't ask me about trees, but if Joshua can name 3 trees, he says 3. If I can name 4, I say 4. We go back and forth until one of us realizes somebody's bluffing. And we hit this little bell that we have right here in front of us, and we have 10 seconds to name as many as we said that we were going to name. So we did at least 2 episodes on that. Definitely worth tapping back into. And make sure y'all stay tuned for live events that we'll be doing where we will be bringing them to life so we can have a good time with our soil cousins. So I heard you was ready to challenge. Are you ready to challenge?
I got one question.
Sure.
You better have a question after this.
I got you.
I want you to name some houseplants that thrive in bright, direct light during the spring.
Direct light?
Direct.
Interesting. Like full sun?
Have we started the timer? Okay.
We started the timer?
Y'all, she like to stall. I don't know why she do this.
No. What? Are we starting? Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all.
So I want you to name some houseplants that thrive in direct light during the spring.
I can name 3.
I can name 5.
I can name 6.
I can name 8.
Don't moss with me.
Anthurium, pothos, snake plant, fiddle leaf, birds of paradise, elephant ear, and peace lily.
Did we run out of time? How are we on time? You did it. OMG. That's the sound when you get it right,
okay.
Which we don't
get
hear
off
that often. Y'all can go back to a previous episode. I was so embarrassed about that tree thing. I thought I could name so many trees.
It's okay. So I was embarrassed too a couple times. Under pressure, you never know. But what's your question?
I mean, I'm just going to keep it simple. Springtime, we think about flowers. Of course, that was the first episode of the season. We talked about florography. So, how many flowers can you name?
Oh, my Lord. I can name 2.
I can name 6.
She just jumped up.
That's it. Those some flowers now.
I mean, I can name 7 and ain't no point to hit it. So name 8.
I can name 8. I've been hanging with a lot of florists.
Have you?
I follow many florists.
I think 8 is a good number
on IG.
Okay.
I think you should do what you're supposed to do.
Don't moss with me.
I can name 8. All right. Daffodil, ranunculus, rose, lily, tulip, OMG, morning glory, passion flower.
The producer has cut it.
Did I get to 8 though?
No, honey. And sunflowers right here.
I was literally looking at the flowers around me. How many did I name?
I think you got like 6 or 7.
But I named them confidently
you
and
did.
fast
Okay.
though.
Hit the rock.
I'm just going to give a little bonus. All I get is a rock. I don't get the ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay, what you got for me?
Oh, okay. So the next question is,
I was so confident.
Name some things that you should not do when repotting a plant in the spring.
I can name one.
Can you name one? Should I hit the buzzer? Because you know how you are. I can name 3. Don't
mess with me.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Come on. Do not start heavily watering. Do not start heavily fertilizing. And do not break the roots up.
I appreciate that. Now, let me just emphasize, I'm really good at repotting. I actually was privileged to assist with the repotting station at the Seed Atlanta Plantini event a few weeks back. And I was very well trusted. All of those people's plants are thriving right now.
As they should
just
be.
trust me. I know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of pressure. These lights are bright. And our producer, sometimes she be making mean faces at me.
Well, the thing about repotting, it's all right. But the thing about repotting is some people like to complicate it. And I've heard a lot of like horror stories like, I repotted my plant and they just died afterwards. And, just simply you want to take it out of the current pot. If it's a clay pot, don't be afraid to break it. Take it outside and just break the pot.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, don't be pulling it out and doing all that.
Break it.
Yeah. If it's a training pot from the nursery or nursery pot, just cut the 2 sides and I always just bend it back.
Yes, that's
and
the
then
pro tip.
The soil just lift out by itself. And then you find a pot that is at least 2 inches bigger than the last. Okay. And you always want to make sure they have holes in it. That's the first thing.
Period.
Make sure there are holes because you need proper drainage, aeration, oxygen to the plant, all that good stuff.
And I will just say right quick, some of you may argue that you don't need holes in pots for plants. Y'all pros, we're not talking to the pros for this tip.
A pro should even not say that. So if they're saying
but
that,
some people, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I do, but at the same time, you got to think about where a plant is in its natural environment. It's an everlasting ground. So it's not ever just sitting.
It's porous.
Yes.
So it's not, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? So
yes.
We won't go there. But go ahead and make sure you got some soil on the bottom. Some people put rocks. I don't like doing that. Just make sure you have some holes. Put that good plant in there. Fill it up with some soil around it. I like to throw some systemic granules in there because, all soil, something's going to be in there. You might have some eggs that are unhatched. You might have, some gnats, but I always treat the soil first.
Nice.
Not too much. Do it slowly because, like I said, you don't want to do too much as you're repotting. And then water it.
See, now you're just showing off.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not that hard. Because
you just did 3 and then you had to give us like 6 more just to make sure.
Yeah,
he
put
really
the cherry on
just,
top.
that was a flex for him. So while we're talking about everything that you just mentioned reminds me of the Plant Hack Cap episode that we did. I think that was maybe the first episode where we had the chocolate botanist here in the studio with us. It was a great time. Highly recommend that y'all go back to that episode. That's one of those episodes that should be in our top because people should be listening to that, repeatedly to make sure that they're not making those mistakes, doing those unnecessary plant hacks. Okay. Yeah. So now one for you. So we talked about the plants and all, and that was cute. But what about the pollinators? Spring time. Okay. How many pollinators can you name?
I can name 2.
I can name 4.
Girl, I got bees and humans.
I said I could name 4. What you gonna do about it?
Don't mind.
All right. Bees, wasps, flies, elephants.
What?
I know you didn't see that coming.
I like that. Hold on.
Yes, elephants actually can pollinate exactly one plant. Corpse plant. Yes. It's the common name is the corpse plant. It's in a very specific environment. Obviously, you want to ask Auntie Google if you need specifics, because I ain't no scientist.
But
I'm a podcast host. I'm finna tell you.
Okay, cool.
So there is this plant grows very low to the ground. You can imagine an elephant is only going to be able to do so much. It actually steps on the pollinating substance. And as it's moving along and it steps around that particular flower, it does indeed pollinate that. That last one was for shock factor.
Yeah, because I was thinking that it was through a whole different type of, but I get it.
No,
it travels.
It's not through the snout.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm lying, I'm frying. Y'all just trust me on this. All right. So
that means I was just playing with the humans, but no, humans really are pollinators as well. And
yeah,
polluters.
Humans are pollinators.
And polluters.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do more polluting than pollinating, but hey, y'all go back and listen to that Lilo Jones episode to hear a little bit more about the issues that arise from all this pollution. But you know what? This has been a great time. We talked about so many of the episodes that we really enjoy and remember. Wish we had enough time to really get into all of them, but hey, we're going to leave that up to y'all. This will be a great time as we're taking our summer break to get caught up on some of the episodes that we mentioned. If you missed them, listen back, take some notes. If you're a really good student, you will share them. Okay. If you are a super duper A+ gold star student, you will go back to an episode that you like, that you've heard, or maybe you're about to listen to, and you give your own recap of that episode and share it on our social media and tag us. Yes. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Absolutely.
We love discoverability with the podcast. And if you're looking for us to continue to thrive in this space, then we definitely want to put that charge on our soil cousins, our listeners. We want to put that call to action to you to share this in every way that you possibly can. If you're on the train right now, turn to your neighbor.
Okay.
I know some of y'all are listening
amen.
on the train. Turn to your neighbor and say, hey, have you heard the Black in the Garden podcast? Really want to support them. We definitely have a long way to go with what we want to share, but I'm dead serious though. Turn to your neighbor. So any advice that you would give for our soil cousins for sharing and helping us to get the word out?
I would say we love reviews. We love clicking that 5 stars.
5
We love
stars.
the comments. Tell us what you want to hear. But I would say keep watering each other, keep watering your neighbors, water yourself. And, my watering moments are definitely, I feel like they are impactful. But, right now when we are here, I feel like we constantly water each other. So, no matter where you are, who you're sitting next to, always take that moment to give some nourishment. Okay. Something they can hold on to. Give them a little Thanksgiving dinner every now and then. Okay.
I know that's right. And another thing to do would be Spotify has it so that you can leave comments there now. And they also, all of the podcasts, the main podcast players do have transcriptions now. So that's a fun fact for those of us who want to have that written accessibility. Share that with those of your soil cousins who may be interested in podcasts, but maybe they need that extra assistance. Of course, a fun fact to mention, over this 5 years of the Black in the Garden podcast being in existence, we have averaged 4.9 on Apple.
That's right.
Apple Podcasts. That's a very high rating for a podcast to maintain for so long, for 5 years. 4.9 because of a hater, undoubtedly. Somebody drug our little 5-star down, but it's okay. We still love all of y'all, and we do appreciate constructive criticism. So the last thing that I would say before we get into our closing would be, y'all hire us.
Absolutely. Okay. Because we move, we travel.
Tell us more about the plant, Zaddy. Well, we know, but like, give us a compelling reason.
I mean, for me and myself, you know, I can bring any space to life. I can either help install any plants in your space, your business, commercial, whatever it might be, but also education sessions, no matter the space, the corporate space, classrooms. You know, we always want to make sure that we are sowing into the next generation. So, you know, plants are everlasting. They're always going to be around, but there's also a wellness aspect that we want to make sure that we instill into our children, so then they can, you know, take that to the next generation or space that they may be within. And yeah, I mean, I could go down to all of my offerings, but
that won't be necessary. You have a website.
Yeah, okay. plantzaddy.club, because we are a community.
I know that's right.
.com, not .org.
.club. All right, and y'all know me as Colah be talking, so you can imagine what I would like to come to do. Talk to your school, your university, your career day event, your garden club, wherever you could use some insights, some very specific cultural insights. You could take a look back at all these episodes that we have produced, not just with WABE, but just going all the way back. And so you can get a sense for the range of subject matter that I'm able to tap into. And I come with the energy and the enthusiasm, and we will have a good time. So I would strongly encourage you to hit up Colah be talking via the email that is going to be, or the contact details that are listed in the episode notes.
Even if they want to pick up this whole podcast and bring it to a auditorium or whatever it might be.
I'm not mad at that.
It's very versatile. The games, the interactions.
There's so much that we can do. I would love to bring Don't Moss with me to your respective location. Let's have a good time. Let's get creative. We can create something. So I appreciate you chiming in, friend. You understood that assignment.
Yes, you have to.
So Soil Cousins, this season has been amazing. I know that we can both agree. And as we close out this recap, I want to take a moment to give a heartfelt thank you to the people who made this journey not only possible, but powerful. I'm looking at y'all, BTS, okay, our production crew, to Crystal, our incredible producer. Thank you so much for being the backbone of this project. So many times she has rolled her eyes at us, but still we persist.
And so many times she has smiled, giving us the approval, you know, your vision, your leadership, and steady hands. And as you see, the interruptions sometimes. No, but your vision, your leadership, and steady hands has guided us from start to finish every single day, every episode, every moment.
Period. We really appreciate you, Crystal. You know, we know how hard you work. To Scotty, our former SVP of audio, your support and belief in this work has helped to amplify our voices and bring this story to life with clarity and heart. So one thing about Scotty, if you see him, he always looked great.
Okay, from head to toe.
Head to toe.
I don't even wear a size. I think he wears a size like 10. I'm like, can I just put that? I wear a 14. Let me put my foot in there. No, but he's always dressed.
Yes. Down. I want to give another special shout out to Rose Scott, the legend from WABE, journalist, unforgettable guest. I could not believe that I got to have her sit in this very chair that you're sitting in. And I don't know if I'll ever get over it. I fangirl every time I see Rose Scott. So excuse me for my fangirliness. Your wisdom, your presence, and your storytelling has added depth and soul to the episode that you contributed to. I also want to give a special shout out to Julian Virgin. He got to join us for an episode. Julian is a journalist, also fellow talent here at WABE. Such great energy. We really appreciate your contributions and the light that you brought to every moment from our episode. Lois Reitzes, another legend, 40 years deep. She is about to go ahead and hang that mic up. 40 years, celebrating the same anniversary date. Not as starting, but we have the same anniversary for when I started Black in the Garden and she started broadcasting with WABE. We deeply appreciate and respect your legacy and all of the meaningful conversations that you've created over the years.
Completely honored to walk on the path behind her.
I know that's right.
Okay.
Eloquent.
When people lay the path down so smoothly.
So smooth.
and it's easy.
You would have thought she was out there with the trucks with the asphalt. She just laid that thing down. To the entire WABE staff, those who are in the room, especially those who have provided us with support in ways that we may not even know. We want to thank you for the warmth, the effort, and the countless ways that you have supported this initiative behind the scenes. I feel like I should have thanked the Soil Cousins first. Y'all, now I know how Beyonce be feeling when she be up there. Remember when she forgot to thank Rumi?
Oh, yes.
She had to go on the interview after and be like, I'm sorry, I forgot somebody. So if I didn't name everybody that I could possibly name, I don't know, check the show notes. But to all the Soil Cousins who helped to push this vision forward, listening, sharing, we thank you, we see you, and we truly honor the role that you have played in helping us grow, especially if you left a review. Okay, y'all should feel convicted by now if you haven't. This project has been and continues to be rooted in community, watered by collaboration, and it's bloomed because of all of you. Whether you've been rocking with Black in the Garden from the beginning or just joined us this season, just know that you're a part of something very special. And trust me, we're just getting started. So make sure y'all stick around, stay tapped in, and get ready for even more amazing conversations in the seasons to come. So until next time, we want y'all to keep growing and learning. And I want to wish you all love, light, and soil. I know what you finna say.
And keep planting more and worrying less.
All right.
Much love.
And speaking of Edward Scissorhands, remember how Mike Gibson said that he could do topiary?
Left and right.
Left and right. Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous, yes.
There's no I. Ambidextrous. We know words. Please leave that in because
Crystal, our producer, is going to double check this and weigh in.
It's ambidextrous.
Is it? An I.
So well, knock me over with the sun.
Knock her over.
Knock me over with the
ambidextrous.
It's an I, but if you don't pronounce it. Ambidextrous.
Who is this guy? He's saying it like I never heard it before.
Gugan.
He from the Midwest.
Black in the garden. Black like the root of my hair, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. Hey, yeah, black like the root of my hair. I'ma go what I eat in the garden where I be, yeah. WABE.